Good are these among so many? What a great question for Elijah's servant and for the Apostle Andrew to ask. What an important question for us to ask during these difficult times for so many people. But is it the right question to ask? Maybe the question needs to be, how are you and I together going to share what we have, no matter how much or how little, with those who have less? Our world today seems to be concerned about numbers. We keep track of how many basis points the market rose or fell each day. We watch the Weather Channel to see what the temperature will be. We talk about how far we have walked or have run this morning, what we have to pay for clothing, food, and gasoline, and how much we earn each year. We may even be delighted or grossed out to know that Joey Chestnut ate 68 hot dogs in 10 minutes on July 4th this year. We use numbers to keep track of so much in our lives. It seems to be all about numbers, numbers, numbers. Our readings today from Kings and the Gospel of John are no different. The writers of these accounts keep track of the number of people fed and the amount of food available and left over. I wonder if numbers are the important thing here. Elijah was given barley loaves made from the first fruits and grain of the season. He could have taken this bread and used it for his own family and friends. But he saw a need, and he was able to offer this bread to those who were hungry. The number of barley loaves and the number of people did not match, but that did not seem to be of concern to Elijah. He knew that the people were hungry, and he used these precious barley loaves to feed the people. With the compassion of Elijah and his sharing, there was enough for all. Jesus was also aware of the hunger of the people who came to hear him. Hunger for his word and hunger for food. In his wisdom, Jesus knew that one is not able to listen to the words of another when the stomach is empty and groaning for food. Since there was no market close by and there was not enough money to provide food for so many, Jesus was able to use the small amount of food offered by a young boy to feed the huge crowd. It is in the gift of this young boy and through the compassion of Jesus that there was enough for all. Today, we gather in this sacred place to celebrate 25, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80 years of religious profession. More numbers to keep us on track. But what are we really here to celebrate? The number of years of religious profession, or the commitment of these women who said yes to share our lives with others in order to serve God's people? The letter to the Ephesians calls us to live in a manner worthy of the call we have received. Today, we celebrate our response to that call and our faithfulness to living with humility, with gentleness, and with patience, bearing with one another through love. A time of Jubilee is a time for the Jubilarians to reflect on how well we have lived our response. Our reflections may be based on the words of the vows we confess, or the mottos we chose to have inscribed in our rings when we made final profession. The virtues stated in the letter to the Ephesians are so clearly reflected in the words of the mottos of our Jubilarians, and they are, Thy will be done. Be it done unto me according to thy word. In his will is our peace. My God and my all. With expectation I wait for the Lord. Permit me not to be separated from thee. Stay with us, Master. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. O gentle, O loving, O sweet Virgin Mary, act courageously. Launch out into the deep. Jesus was not ultimately yes and no. With him, it was always yes. I have loved you with an everlasting love. And Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Let us go back to the question I asked earlier. How are you and I together going to share what we have, no matter how much or how little, with those who have less? I believe that it is in our commitment and faithfulness to living out these words that we are able to share our lives with God's people. Whoever we are, husband, wife, mother, father, sister, brother, friend, relative, priest, bishop, women and men religious. It is in the love that we offer to one another, the support, challenge, and encouragement that we give to one another, that we are able to share whatever we have, no matter how great or small, with those who hunger for the food of God's word, for the food of physical nourishment. And it is because of our compassion and in the giving of ourselves that there will always be enough for all. And one final thought. In the reading from Kings and John's Gospel, the stories conclude with the comment that there was some left over. Because we offer the gift of ourselves together, and we do not do it alone, then in each of us, no matter how much we give or share, there will always be a little bit more left